Module 1 to 2. Communication Processes, Principles, and Ethics. Introduction. At this stage of your life, you have definitely observed and experienced that having effective communication in English is important for success. You have witnessed how the better communicators in your group or class have stood out not only as persons but as students. How have they become effective communicators? All of you can become better communicators like them if you just try harder. Among other things, you can start by getting a better picture of what communication is and how it works, absorbing principles, learning concepts, and applying them in practical situations inside the classroom and in real life as members of the community. Objectives. Specifically, after working on this module, you should be able to do the following. Describe the nature, elements, and functions of verbal and nonverbal communication in various and multicultural contexts. Name and interpret the principles of communication. And discuss the ethical issues in communication. Lesson proper. What is communication? Communication is the art and process of creating and sharing ideas. Effective communication depends on the richness of those ideas. Communication may be classified according to communication mode. It is the way or manner we communicate. It is the method by which we express our thoughts, information, or any ideas we want to get across. Context refers to the circumstances of the situation in which communication is taking place. Purpose and style refer to the use of language registers to serve the purpose of communication. Elements of communication process. Source. The communication process begins with the sender, who is also called the communicator or source. The sender has some kind of information, a command, request, question, or idea, that he or she wants to present to others. For that message to be received, the sender must first encode the message in a form that can be understood, such as by the use of a common language or industry jargon, and then transmit it. Encoding. This represents the conversion of subject matter in certain symbols. Here, things get complicated, because most people use their own definition for certain emotions or ideas. The way they put these in sentences offers a view of their type of personality. The message. The message or content is the information that the sender wants to relay to the receiver. Additional subtext can be conveyed through body language and tone of voice. Put all three elements together: sender, receiver, and message, and you have the communication process at its most basic. Channel, medium. Also called the channel, the medium is the means by which a message is transmitted. Text messages, for example, are transmitted through the medium of cell phones. Decoding. The receiver has to extract the meaning from the symbols sent by the sender and understand completely what he needs. Destination, receiver. The person to whom a message is directed is called the receiver or the interpreter. To comprehend the information from the sender, the receiver must first be able to receive the sender's information and then decode or interpret it. Feedback. The communication process reaches its final point when the message has been successfully transmitted, received, and understood. The receiver, in turn, responds to the sender, indicating comprehension. Feedback may be direct, such as a written or verbal response, or it may take the form of an act or deed in response, indirect. General principles of effective communication. Know your purpose in communicating. Know your audience. Know your topic. Adjust your speech or writing to the context of the situation. Work on the feedback given to you. Principles of effective oral communication. Be clear with your purpose. You should know by heart your objective in communicating. Be complete with the message you deliver. Make sure that your claims are supported by facts and essential information. Be concise. You do not need to be verbose or wordy with your statements. Brevity in speech is a must. Be natural with your delivery. Punctuate important words with the appropriate gestures and movements. Exude a certain degree of confidence even if you do not feel confident enough. Be specific and timely with your feedback. Inputs are most helpful when provided on time. Principles of effective written communication. The 7 C's. Be clear. Be clear with your message. Always be guided by your purpose in communicating. Be concise. Always stick to the point and do not beat or run around the bush. Be brief by focusing on your main point. Be concrete. Support your claims with enough facts. Your readers will easily know if you are bluffing or deceiving them because there is nothing to substantiate your claims. Be correct. It is important that you observe grammatical correctness in your writing. Always have time to revise and edit your work. Even simple spelling errors may easily distract your readers. Be coherent. Your writing becomes coherent only when you convey a logical message. The ideas should be connected to each other and related to the topic. Make sure that you observe a sound structure that will present a smooth flow of your ideas. Use transitional or cohesive devices so that the ideas cohere with one another. Be complete. Include all necessary and relevant information so that the audience will not be left wanting any information. Always place yourself in the shoes of the audience, who is always interested to receive new information. Be courteous. The tone of your writing should be friendly. Avoid any overtone, undertone or insinuation to eliminate confusion and misinterpretation. Ethics of communication. Deirdre D. Johnston, 1994, pointed out 10 ethics in communication that you should bear in mind to avoid being labeled unethical, as cited in Chase and Shamo, 2013, pp. 140 to 141. Mutuality. Pay attention to the needs of others, as well as yours. Individual dignity. Do not cause another person embarrassment or a loss of dignity. Accuracy. Ensure that others have accurate information. Tell them everything they have a right and need to know, not just what is true. Access to information. Never bolster the impact of your communication by preventing people from communicating with one another or by hindering access to the supporting information. Accountability. Be responsible and accountable for the consequences of your relationships and communication. Audience. As an audience or receiver of the information, you also have ethical responsibilities. A good rule of thumb is the 200% rule, where both the sender and the receiver have full 100% responsibility to ensure that the message is understood and that ethics are followed. This is a 100/100ths rule, not a 50/50 rule. Relative truth. As either sender or receiver of information, remember that your own point of view may not be shared by others and that your conclusions are relative to your perspective, so allow others to respectfully disagree or see it differently. Ends versus means. Be sure that the end goal of your communication and the means of getting to that end are both ethical, although no rule can be applied without reservation to any situation. Use of power. In situations where you have more power than others, you also have more responsibility for the outcome. Rights versus responsibilities. Balance your rights against your responsibilities even if you live in a wonderful society where your rights are protected by law. Not everything you have a right to do is ethical. Thank you for watching.